In the city of Metropia, there lived a woman named Clara who, at the age of 58, found herself adrift in the sea of life. Once a fiery entrepreneur, she had watched her dreams dissolve like mist as her business faltered, and her heart was bruised by a string of shallow relationships. The vibrant tapestry of her life had faded to a monochrome. Her days were spent wandering the streets, her eyes not reflecting the city's vibrant life but echoing the void within. On one such day, she found herself in the tranquil expanse of the city's oldest park, her steps aimlessly leading her to an ancient oak tree, under which sat an old man with eyes as clear as the dawn. His name was Marcus, a retired professor who had dedicated his life to the teachings of the Stoics. Sensing a troubled soul, he beckoned Clara to sit beside him. "You carry the weight of the world as if it were your own," Marcus observed, his voice a soothing balm. Clara sighed, the wrinkles on her face deepening like the furrows in a well-tilled field. "I've lost my way," she confessed. "My business, my love life. I've been chasing what I thought would make me happy, looking at others and trying to match their strides." Marcus nodded, understanding her plight. In the pursuit of external validation, we often lose the path to our own soul. "Tell me, Clara, when was the last time you listened to yourself?" Clara pondered the question, realizing that it had been years since she had turned her gaze inward. "Focus on yourself, not on others," Marcus advised. "Inspect your own loom before concerning yourself with the tapestry of another's life." Intrigued, Clara spent more time with Marcus. They discussed Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, who taught that the only path to tranquility was to work on oneself and one's own perceptions. Emboldened by these teachings, Clara began to apply them. She focused on reviving her business, not as a race against competitors, but as an expression of her passion. She worked on her emotional resilience, learning to appreciate her worth without a partner to affirm it. However, just as her business began to show signs of life and her heart began to heal, a vibrant new competitor emerged, threatening to undo all of Clara's progress with their innovative approach. Clara's friends, caught up in the excitement, were quick to point out the seemingly insurmountable edge the competitor had. The threat loomed large, and Clara found herself on the precipice of despair, the old fears clawing their way back into her mind. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound Stoic wisdom. The Inner Citadel. Clara stood at the edge of her fears, peering into the abyss of her past failures. The new competitor had become the talk of Metropia, their methods and success casting a long shadow over Clara's fledgling revival. Friends and acquaintances were quick to compare, their words unintentionally sharp, slicing through her newfound confidence. In a moment of crisis, Clara sought the solace of the park and the wisdom of Marcus. She found him there, as constant as the oak tree he sat beneath, his serene presence a silent rebuke to the turmoil in her heart. "Marcus," Clara began, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind, "I have tried to focus on myself, but the world insists on intruding, always measuring me against others." "The world will always challenge your peace, Clara," Marcus replied, his tone even. "It is not the noise of your competitor that disturbs you, but your reaction to it. You have built your inner citadel. Now you must learn to live within its walls." Clara listened, her mind grappling with the concept. "Consider the words of Epictetus," Marcus continued. "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Your focus must remain on your own journey, improving and adapting, not on the achievements of your rival." Inspired by Marcus's counsel, Clara returned to her business with a fortified resolve. She doubled down on her unique vision, improving her services and connecting with her clients on a level that no competitor could match. She built her brand not on comparison, but on the authentic values and quality that she brought to the table. As months passed, Clara's business not only survived but began to thrive. Her clients, drawn by her genuine passion and the excellence of her work, became her greatest advocates. The competitor, once seen as a threat, became a source of inspiration for Clara to innovate and grow. Through her stoic practice, Clara learned to detach her personal worth from her business performance and her relationship status. Her inner citadel was strong, her happiness emanating from within, no longer contingent on external validation. Eventually, Clara's competitor approached her, not with rivalry, but with respect and a proposal for collaboration. Together, they found common ground and synergies that allowed both businesses to flourish, serving the community in ways they could not have achieved alone. In the quiet of the park, under the wise old oak tree, Clara shared her story with Marcus, her eyes now reflecting a deep, inner peace. "You have learned the profound Stoic lesson, Clara," Marcus said with a smile. "By focusing on yourself, not on others, you have found your way in life, love, and business. Your worth is not a thing to be given or taken by the world, but a treasure to be cultivated and guarded within your own soul." And so, Clara's journey, woven with the threads of Stoic wisdom, became a testament to the power of self-focus. She had discovered that by turning her attention inward, fortifying her inner citadel, and acting according to her own values, she could navigate life's challenges with grace. The measure of her success was no longer drawn from the lines of comparison, but from the contentment and tranquility that bloomed within her. The second story: The Winds of Fortune. In the sun-kissed city of Aurelius, there lived a businessman named Julian. He had risen from the humble beginnings of a street vendor to the owner of a thriving import-export company. His name was synonymous with success. His touch seemed to turn everything to gold, and his life was the embodiment of ambition realized. Yet, as the years unfurled, Julian found himself entangled in the trappings of his own success. His company began to wobble under the weight of competition, and his personal life, once a source of joy, became a barren landscape. His wife, Isabella, had grown distant, wearied by his constant absence and the relentless pursuit of more. One fateful evening, amidst the marble and mahogany of his sprawling office, Julian overheard his employees speak of a new rival in town, a man named Cassius whose innovation and customer service were unmatched. Julian felt the familiar grip of anxiety, the specter of inadequacy that no amount of wealth could ward off. Desperate to regain his edge, Julian began to imitate Cassius, mirroring his strategies and business models. But the more he tried to emulate his competitor, the more his own business suffered. His identity, once clear and bright, became muddied by the shadows of another. It was during this time of turmoil that Julian encountered an old friend, a philosopher named Athena, in the quiet solitude of the city's oldest library. Athena was a Stoic, a believer in the power of the self over external circumstances. "Julian," Athena greeted him, her voice a calm harbor, "you are adrift in the sea of externals, chasing after the ships of other men when you have abandoned your own at port." Julian confessed his troubles, how he had lost his way in life, love, and business by focusing on others rather than himself. Athena listened and then spoke with the wisdom of Seneca. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You are trying to control the winds when you should be adjusting your sails. Under Athena's guidance, Julian began to study Stoicism. He learned that true control came from within, from mastering his reactions and emotions, and from focusing on his own virtues and actions. Reinvigorated, Julian returned to his company with a new philosophy. He ceased copying Cassius and instead focused on the core values that had made his company great. He spent time with his employees, listened to their ideas, and together they forged a new path based on authenticity and integrity. Just when Julian was beginning to rebuild, a global economic crisis struck. His company faced bankruptcy, and his marriage reached the breaking point. The future he had so carefully curated seemed to crumble before his eyes. The Stoics' voyage. As the economic tempest raged, Julian's world was thrown into disarray. His business teetered on the brink of collapse, and Isabella, weary of the chasm between them, spoke the words Julian had long feared. "I need space to find myself again, Julian. Our love has been lost in your pursuit of others' shadows." With his personal and professional life in shambles, Julian faced a choice: to be consumed by the chaos or to confront it with the newfound Stoic principles that Athena had instilled in him. Remembering the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Julian realized that he could not control the crisis, but he could control his response to it. He took solace in the Stoic idea that obstacles are opportunities to practice virtue, to strengthen character, and to demonstrate resilience. Julian began by addressing his employees, not with a facade of unshakable leadership, but with the vulnerability and honesty of a captain who acknowledges the storm. "We cannot calm the sea," he said, "but we sail the same ship, and together we can navigate these waters." Inspired by Julian's courage and transparency, his team rallied. They innovated, cut unnecessary costs, and found new markets to counteract the economic downturn. Julian worked alongside them, no longer as the untouchable mogul, but as a true leader, one who understood that the well-being of his company was a reflection of the well-being of his people. In his personal life, Julian heeded the Stoic practice of self-reflection and recognized his neglect of Isabella's needs and aspirations. He reached out to her, not to plead for her return, but to express his genuine remorse and to share the man he was striving to become. Isabella, moved by Julian's sincerity and transformation, agreed to embark on a new journey together, one not defined by wealth or status, but by mutual growth and understanding. As the months passed, Julian's company not only survived the economic crisis, but emerged stronger, with a reputation for resilience and ethical business practices. His competitors, including Cassius, began to see him not as a threat, but as a pillar of the business community, a testament to the power of principled leadership. One day, under the golden glow of a setting sun, Julian and Athena walked through the very library where their pivotal conversation had occurred. "You have weathered the storm, Julian," Athena said, a smile gracing her lips. "I have learned that the true measure of success is not in surpassing others, but in surpassing my former self," Julian replied, his eyes reflecting the tranquility of his heart. And so, Julian's story became one of profound transformation. He had discovered that by focusing on himself, by cultivating his inner garden rather than gazing over the fence, he could find contentment and success in its truest form. The Stoic lesson Julian's story imparts is the realization that our power lies not in conquering the world outside, but in mastering the world within. By focusing on our own actions, virtues, and character, We shape a life not defined by comparison, but by the authenticity of our own journey.